what is up guys? Welcome to another video. For today, I really wanted to make some fettuccine alfredo. When I make fettuccine alfredo, I personally like to use rotini instead of fettuccine. Personally, I like using rotini because with these ridges and like layers, I think that this pasta holds the alfredo sauce better. It gives it more layers. It just keeps the sauce more like onto the pasta. So yeah, I thought that I'd make this video. Fettuccine alfredo is pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. Basically add butter, heavy whipping cream. You don't really need the heavy whipping cream. You can just make the sauce out of butter, Parmesan cheese, and starchy pasta water. But I like to use the heavy cream just to give it a more creamy texture. Alright, so let's get right into it. Alright, so for this recipe, the way I'm making it, I'm using heavy cream. You could make the alfredo sauce with just butter, Parmesan cheese, and starchy pasta water, but I like to use this because it gives it a lot more creamy texture. Adding this, I think, gives it a lot more of a creamy and milky taste to the pasta. So the servings I'm making is about 2 servings. I'm using half a pound of pasta. Usually if you get a box of pasta, they'll come as 1 pound of pasta. So I'm using half of everything. If you want to make just a full box of pasta, then just double everything that I'm using. I'm using half a pound of pasta. This is rotini. Half a pint of heavy whipping cream. I used half of this earlier, so I have about half of this. Half a stick of butter. Usually a standard stick of butter is half a cup of butter, so this is going to be a 1/4 cup of butter. Parmesan cheese. You could use the pre-shredded Parmesan cheese that comes in a bag, but those are, they add kind of like a layer to the cheese so that it goes for longer. But what that layer does is that it makes the cheese not melt so easily as it normally would if you got your own block of cheese and grated it yourself. So that's what I did here. I had a block of Parmesan cheese and I grated it and I left it in this container so I can just use it whenever. When you grate the cheese, you want it in these small fine pieces so that when you do put it in the sauce, it melts easily, it doesn't get chunky, it doesn't form clumps in the sauce. So try to get these as small and thin as possible. And of course, as always, salt and pepper. So yeah, this is all it takes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 ingredients if you wanted to use the cream. So yeah, let's just get started with this. So first, what you want to do, as always, you start with the pasta. It's going to take the longest. It's going to take longer than the sauce to make. Don't forget to salt the water pretty generously. Alright, once your water is boiling, you add your pasta. Like I said in my last video, when you put the pasta in, you want to give it a stir so that it doesn't stick together once the starches start to come out. Let that sit for a second. Alright, so while the pasta's cooking, I'm going to get started on the alfredo sauce. Again, wait for this to get hot. Half a stick of butter. Alright, once your butter's all melted evenly, we add our heavy whipping cream. And we give it a mix so that the butter and the cream kind of come together into one sauce. Like I said before, this cream isn't necessary. You can definitely just make alfredo sauce with the butter, Parmesan cheese, and starchy pasta water, but I like using the cream because it gives it a whole different kind of flavor. It's still really good without the cream, but I don't know, I've always just made it with the cream, so this is just what I stick with. If you wanted to stick with, you know, not having to go to the store to get cream and stuff like that, if you only have pasta, Parmesan cheese, and butter, then that is perfectly fine. You can go ahead and make this sauce without the cream, it's perfectly fine. So as this is on the heat, you can see that it's kind of getting thicker. You want this to sit and simmer for a while. You want it to start foaming and bubbling up so that it becomes thicker and less liquidy. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We just give this a good mix. We're just gonna put this on here. Just let it sit for a while. We want it to bubble and really thicken as much as it can before we add the Parmesan cheese. So don't take the lid off, just let the heat stay in there and really do its thing with the butter and the heavy cream. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's really starting to bubble. You can see that it's really thickening. It's a lot thicker than before, so I'm going to take it off the heat for a second. Give it a good mix. Make sure the milk isn't clumpy, or else your sauce will be clumpy. So you can see the milk and the butter has become really thick. When I run my spoon through it, you can see a little trail that's left behind. That's when you know that it's really thickening up. And when you think it's ready, add your Parmesan cheese. This part is really just up to you, how much cheese you put in. It's really just about how thick you want your sauce. Give this a good mix so that the cheese will melt properly into the milk and become really creamy rather than clumpy. So you can see after the cheese has gone in, this trail that is left behind is really significant. As you can see, with the cheese in here, it's really thickened up. So this sauce is about done. This is Alfredo sauce right here. The sauce is on low heat. I have this little strainer thing. Strain it just a little bit. You don't have to strain it all the way because I'm eventually gonna add pasta water into this sauce. Alright, once that's in there, we give this a good mix. Like I said in my last pasta video, you want your pasta more watery and like runny than you think you want it when you're eating it, because as pasta cools, it's going to absorb more moisture and it's going to get a lot thicker, especially with the cheese. So if it's looking a little too thick, you can add pasta water to adjust it. If it's looking too runny, then you can add Parmesan cheese. Salt to taste, a little bit more black pepper. If you think it needs more sauce, you can add another handful of Parmesan cheese. And you can balance it out by adding the starchy pasta water. More black pepper. I love black pepper. So if you didn't want to use cream, that's also how you would make your Alfredo sauce. You would just add your butter, add your Parmesan cheese, and just a lot more starchy pasta water than I added, because that's going to give it the creamy texture and substitute of the heavy cream. And this is just about done. So like I said before, I like using rotini for the Alfredo sauce because these little spirals like catch the sauce, and it's really good because there's a lot more flavor to it, I think. So there it is. This is rotini Alfredo. If you want to stick with what I said before about not using cream so that you don't have to go to the store or something, you can definitely make this with just the Parmesan and the starchy pasta water with the butter. If you have any questions on how to make this or how to make the sauce without the heavy cream, just let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. I'm here to help you guys. I want to make your food life better and make sure that you're able to cook just, you know, easy things at home. This is one of them. This just This takes maybe 15-20 minutes max. 5-6 ingredients depending on how you want to make it, and you've got yourself 2-3 servings of rotini alfredo. You can save it in the fridge for later. You can feed some guests coming over, maybe surprise them that you can make this or something. It's really simple, really good, and it's one of my favorite things to make. It's just so simple. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This was rotini alfredo. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. If you do happen to make this, or pasta aglio e olio from my last video, take a picture and send it to me. I would love to see them. The biggest thing that I want is for you guys to be able to make these things that I make, and if I see that you guys are actually making it, then it would make me really, really happy. Make this, make the pasta from my other video. I'm here to kind of help you guys as much as I can, and hopefully this is something that you guys want to do in the future. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Peace.